Cost codes are a component built for Alert Stratus, which are used primarily for doing project task tracking, so we can identify the costs we would like to group together. And it's also a very important component if we're integrating to a financial system, so that we can map the appropriate general ledger segments from Alert Stratus over to the accounting system. So cost codes are primarily applied at the item and the product level. Another example we can see here is at the project task level, when I'm creating, say, a project scoping task for this energy system project. I can choose to assign a default cost code so that we can better track all the different costs that we're incurring for our projects. So to create a new cost code in Alert Stratus, we'll select Settings, we'll go to our Alert Stratus setup, and then from here we'll select Cost Codes. Now we're going to be presented with a list of all of the cost codes that we have in our system. You'll notice that you can have parent-child relationships with the cost codes as well. So if I have labor as one of the most dominant cost codes that we're going to be tracking against, I can choose to have labor, and I can choose to also have a parent cost code for it. So if I'm tracking all of my labor, but I'd also like to separately track all of the non-billable labor costs that we're incurring, we can choose to add that as a separate cost code. So to create a new cost code, we'll select New here in the ribbon bar, and we'll start to enter the details for the new cost code. So for this example, we're going to create a cost code called support labor. So perhaps this is a cost code that our support resources will use when we're logging support hours against customers that are calling in requiring support, but we're not billing them any hours. So I can say support labor. I can put my cost type to be labor. I can add a parent cost code if I wish to append it to, say, labor to be my parent cost code for this particular cost. I can put in my sales GL segment, which stands for general ledger segment, and do the same for our cost of goods sold general ledger segment. I can choose to add a description for this cost code, and I'll simply save and close. So now that I've done so, I can see support labor here in my list. I can see I have labor as the parent and child relationship here, and I've also plugged in both my sales and my cost of goods sold general ledger segment codes.